Welcome to DarkHorse Matters, the show about people, their passions, and their pursuit toward happiness. I'm your host, Bev Matayoshi, and my passion is talking to people about their dreams, what drives them, and just, the mission that they have in life to be happy. And it's so important these days, especially after 2020. It's been such a hard year, and just recovering this year, it's not over yet. It's so important to focus on something that makes you feel like you have purpose in life. And that's the true recipe for happiness. So with that being said, I just want to remind you, if you're new to the show, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're a returning part of the audience, thank you so much for the support. You guys have been so great and very encouraging. So thank you. Today's guest is someone that I've known my whole life, like since the womb. We share the same DNA, we look the same, and we sound the same too. People always trip out at us, and just our whole lives we've been identified as a duo. So I just want to introduce you to my identical twin sister, Kim Matayoshi.
Slancha!
Slancha! Isn't it a little early for that? I'm not judging.
Thank the pandemic for that. An everyday thing. Now, it's not every day, but sometimes it is.
Thank you so much for coming on. And this is going to be fun because, I don't know, can you guys tell us apart? Anybody who knows us?
Come on, you're supposed to mirror me.
How about this? How about this?
I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that. Everybody thinks that twins can feel each other's pain.
How about this?
And if that were true, oh my God, that would be so fun.
And painful. You'd like knock your own tooth out.
Everybody be like watching me beat my own ass. Yeah, I'm pissed off at my sister.
This is just weird. I feel weird right now because it's like, I don't know. Anyways,
I'm nervous. Let me drink some more.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the way things were when we were kids. Everyone is just so intrigued about the whole concept of being an identical twin, and it's definitely, that's all we know. I like the one of the benefits I like is like you have an automatic BFF. Even if she doesn't want to be my BFF.
Double the wardrobe.
Mm-hmm. Even if she doesn't want to be my BFF, it's like she has no choice, We
have to share the same room. We have to share everything. We have to share the same clothes. Growing up, oh my God. I still can't believe that mom used to make us dress the same. Well, she did in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it was automatic. And up until the 7th grade, we were still dressing the same. And when we went to King Intermediate, we're like realizing that that's really like shame. So we kind of started to like dress, we had our own, we just started dressing different in 7th grade. But yeah, up until that.
I know. I just remember we would get up in the morning and be like, what are we wearing today?
Yeah, we used to it was a decision each other.
Yeah, a decision we made together. But I remember in college, when we actually had separate rooms, after Daff, our older sister, moved out, Kim moved into her room. And I remember having separation anxiety just from you moving into the next bedroom. And we would come out of the room at the same time together, and we'd be wearing the same outfit.
I know. I'd be like, you changed.
No, you changed.
This is my outfit. I wanted to wear this. I remember that.
And then I also remember when you finally moved out of the apartment in Los Angeles, when I got accepted into dental hygiene school. And that was when you were like, okay, I don't want to change my life just because you're studying, so you moved out, and, that was your sense of independence that you got. But I remember I cried and then I would call you every day. What are you doing? And I would literally drive
walking around naked in my own apartment.
But I would drive like all the way to Santa Monica and hang out with you. I don't know. It was just like weird not living together after all that time.
I know. We lived together for how long? When did I move out? That was like
2007.
2007. So like,
Yeah.
I can't even do the math right now.
Maybe you shouldn't drink any more of that.
I had 2 sips.
Okay. So the reason why I am bringing you on this show today is because of your passion for art and music, which I share the same passion. And, you know, it's just something that we grew up with. It's something that has always been embedded into our lives, which I find kind of weird because mom and dad were not very, well, no, I'm wrong. Mom was very artistic because she was a seamstress and she had to do all those fashion design artwork. I actually still have one of her drawings.
Can I have copies of that?
I'll
frame that.
I have it somewhere and I'll dig it up and scan it. Yeah, mom, she was an artist in that sense because she had to do a lot of design work for her seamstress, you know, sewing. And dad, I don't remember him being artistic, but I guess he comes from a musical family because his parents were. Grandma Fujiko, she, you know, danced and sang. And our grandfather, he played the samisen. He was a samisen player.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I spoke with one of our cousins who I randomly met at Waihole Poi factory. I met him through someone else, our actual cousin, but he plays the samisen, and he was the one who told me about that. So musically, it's always been in our lives. Like the earliest memory I have of actually singing in our lives. Like, do you remember? What is your earliest?
Remember that 1983 cassette tape that we used to always listen to? Mom was recording. It was like a tape letter to the Philippines, her family in the Philippines, and we happened to interrupt her. We were like, what, 4 years old or something? We just started singing. She was like, okay, sing something. And we're like, twinkle, twinkle, little, like just no problem, no shame, you know?
I remember that tape. Who has that tape now? Like, where did it go?
Lost.
That was
I'm really sad about that.
That was some classic memories on there because somebody was playing the organ.
Daff
was playing the organ.
Yeah, we were like 5. I think we were like 5 years old. I think, yeah, 5 years old.
Wow. From what I can remember, she was pretty good at that age of 5 or 6 years old.
To play the organ at 6 years old, that's pretty damn good.
And what else was on that tape?
And I just remember us singing Twinkle Little Star all together.
Oh, I wish we
could. You had a Filipino accent back then. That was crazy.
How come I was the only one?
Not like that. Remember?
Shut up. Well, how come I was the only one with the Filipino accent? Nobody else did. I guess maybe I must have been attached to mom or something. So one of the memories I remember the most was the family rosaries. Whenever mom would have, be with her friends and do the rosaries, they would always sing in 3-part harmony. Was it Auntie Helen and Auntie Sally?
Auntie Sally. I have that in my notes, actually. I was going to mention her.
Yeah. I don't remember which harmony she sang. Was she melody or
always
alto?
I don't remember either. I don't know, but I just remember tuning into the harmony. Like I noticed that and I would focus on it and I would try to mimic her when nobody was watching, like I would try to sing the harmony parts.
Me too. I remember that too.
Like crazy that how I knew the difference between the melody and the harmonies back then.
Yep. That song. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Remember that song?
I was thinking of Remember that song?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember Auntie Helen's voice in particular with that song. Wow. Wow. That's something I haven't thought about in years. So me, you, and Daff, like the three of us have always been, just kind of identified as a trio. But as far as singing, we were always, casted roles with three-part harmony. And
But our shyness got the best of us in the beginning. Remember the auditions for Alice in Wonderland and how we were too shy to do it? And then like I kind of I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, if both of us audition for Alice in Wonderland, I guarantee we're gonna get fucking placed the Tweedledee and Tweedledum casted as Tweedledee and Tweedledum, and I really didn't want that. The ridicule.
Yeah, but we weren't even allowed to audition for a main character until 5th grade, right?
Really? No, it was 4th grade.
Really? Because 4th grade we were in the chorus. Yeah, I don't remember auditioning for that.
We didn't because we were too shy.
Oh.
I remember that. 4th grade we were allowed to audition for a main part, and we didn't because we were too shy.
I was always too shy. Gosh.
Yeah. Because we used to have auditions for Mr. Bright's Broadway reviews that he would have every year, and the whole entire like elementary schools from the Kaneohe district would have an opportunity to audition for the show. And the first time, every like 5th and 6th graders from elementary schools could audition, and we were 5th grade and we didn't get picked, and I was devastated. I was so devastated. I was like, why didn't I get picked? I know I can sing, So like 6th grade, I was like, I'll be damned if I don't get picked, so he's gonna see me. I remember what song, like he gave me a part in that song, that Peter Pan song,
I won't grow up.
And my part was, if growing up means it would be beneath my dignity to climb a tree, whatever. But I was like milking it, I'm like, he's gonna see me.
Yeah, same here. And Ronald Bright, his productions, all those Broadway reviews from all the elementary schools in the Hawaii school district, like that really impacted our lives. Like from a young age, I just remember how I can't even imagine the kind of person I would be if we didn't experience that,
We were so lucky.
We were so lucky.
Program was free.
It was free, and so many people have made it through to Broadway, and just entertainment business, like very successful because of that experience in a public school program, which is just I'm so proud that I got to experience that.
Grateful and proud. I'm a bright kid.
I'm a bright kid too. And if you guys don't know what that is, you should look that up on Instagram.
Hashtag I'm a bright kid.
Yeah, because it's such a powerful thing that has come out of Ronald Bright when he was alive. He was just impacted so many people on such amazing levels. So I will always be grateful for that experience growing up. Very lucky.
Yeah.
What about art? Like, do you remember what it was your first memory or experience about art being manifested into your life and it being important?
Like elementary school days?
Yeah, or just whatever is the earliest memory you can think of.
So I guess all schools got to participate in a art contest that the Lions Club Hawaii put on, and it was called Sight is Beautiful. And I happened to win that contest, and I was 2nd grade, I think I was 2nd grade. And it was so funny, the drawing that I drew. I still remember. I wish I had a copy of it, but it was a picture of this duck pond at the Hawaii Memorial Cemetery. That was like what I thought was the most beautiful back then. It was a duck pond, and I just see, like, I drew all the ducks, and it was the line with the water, and underneath was fish, and there was a bridge. Do you remember that spot?
I remember that spot, and I remember your drawing. And I remember something very specific in the drawing, which I thought was very cool because it made the drawing very real and relatable to everybody, was that you didn't only draw the ducks and how beautiful the pond was and the flowers and the trees in the background, but you drew the trash that was inside the duck pond too. Like it was like
the Pepsi can. It was a
Yeah.
Pepsi can floating in the water, right?
Yeah.
That's
And
horrible.
I know, but I just thought that now thinking, I didn't think about it then like this, but I thought about what I remembered about that drawing, and I can pretty sure that that's probably one of the reasons why you won, was because you included, the imperfections of the world in there and still thought it was beautiful. So
That's deep, Bev. Deep.
it's deep. But anyways, yeah, I remember that drawing very much, and I remember being very jealous of you when you won.
Oh, I won a $50 bond.
Oh, really?
I cashed before we moved to LA when I was 18.
Oh.
Mom should have convinced me not to. I think she tried to, but I was like, give me my money, So dumb. I did not grasp the concept of investing and money back then. Your frontal lobe isn't fully developed back then.
Yeah.
I hate that frontal lobe, that undeveloped frontal lobe.
You can't turn back time, you just have to learn from your mistakes.
I wonder how much it would be worth now, if I
Yeah.
left it.
I remember having many moments like that with Mom, where she tried to teach me wisdom, and I'd be like, thinking I knew everything. Horrible.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can have a different impact on my kids. I have to figure out how to communicate with them.
Well, you're doing it already. You don't have a Filipino accent anymore.
Because that's essential into communication, I guess.
Yeah.
The no language barrier.
That was hard.
It was hard.
Mom sometimes.
Yeah, I miss her so much though. I just think about her. I've been thinking about her a lot lately. She's been popping up into my head. I try to remember, all the things that she tried to teach me, like sewing.
I know.
That I wish I did, but didn't incorporate into my life. But anyways, so the art, another memory I have about art, you did a cartoon of our dog Misha, who is a Shih Tzu. It was like a book, it was designed like a children's book, but the pictures were very.
Have that.
Oh, really?
I still have it.
But it's like a comic book. The drawings were very simple, but I just remember looking at that book and reading it over and over again. I was very fascinated with the cartoons, and the way you drew the dog it didn't really look like Misha. Misha was, really hairy and stuff, but the dog was just very clean line, simple cartoon. And it could have well been a children's storybook, the way you designed it. So I think that's pretty cool.
The end is shame though. I don't know if I'm allowed to I don't know if I want to show people what the comic book. I thought about posting it on Instagram, but when I read the ending, I was like, that's horrible, because I don't remember it. I'll send it to you so you can decide whether you want to show it to people. But poor Misha.
Oh, I don't remember what the end was. Yeah,
it's
I'll definitely.
Funny. It's all I can say is it's funny, but it's mean too. That's messed up if you think about it. What really, really got me starting to draw was that movie, Great Expectations. Remember that movie with Ethan Hawke and Gwyneth Paltrow?
I love that movie so much.
The art in that movie, the charcoal and the pastels, the art that was featured in that movie, that the person that did the art for that movie, his name is Francisco Clemente, and he's so talented, unbelievable. The art in that movie was so good. And after watching that movie, I bought a sketchbook and I started drawing with pastels, and I looked at my sketchbook just earlier this week and I was like, so ugly. So ugly, so not Francisco Clemente, but
in that
was
movie,
the beginning of it.
Even
the sketchbook mission.
the little sketchbook that he did as a kid.
Yeah, I had
also by
yeah,
Francisco?
that was I don't know. But remember that drawing he did in that scene where he did the portrait of Stella when she was a kid? Oh, that drawing is so beautiful.
Yeah. I love that movie. That was a very, very good movie. Speaking of pastels, one of the memories I have about you and oil pastels was you drew a picture of this girl, and for some reason I was like offended by her nose, so I wanted to fix her nose. And you know what happens when you erase oil pastels, right? What happens?
Ooh.
Smudge.
Yeah.
And the meltdown that you had when
I don't remember this.
I ruined your picture because
I
you
don't
can't.
remember
I
this.
tried to erase your nose, and I was gonna draw a better nose. You know how fucking arrogant am I? And I didn't know that it was oil pastels, so
Ooh.
it smudged the whole face of the girl.
Wait, how old were we?
I don't know, maybe 6 years old or
Oh,
something.
okay. No wonder I don't remember.
You like had a meltdown. Like you had a meltdown. And you know what happens when mom hears a meltdown happening? She comes
both are
out.
licking?
No, I got dirty lickings.
Oh.
You just kept crying and having a meltdown. And I got dirty lickings for screwing up the nose of your drawing. Sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your picture.
I want to see it.
I just remember though, I was just like, no, that nose is not good. I'm gonna fix it. And I smudged, and the whole face got smudged black.
Wow.
You don't remember that at all?
I don't remember that at all.
I do, because I got my ass beat.
That was one thing mom was good at, was beating ass.
We deserved it. Most of the time. Talking about this art and your early comic book days, I wanted to kind of guide the conversation toward what you're doing now. I don't know, how many years has it been since you left Los Angeles? Because you live in Seattle, Washington now. How long has it been?
2018.
So a couple years.
Here.
Couple years.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just think it's so amazing that you have the opportunity to really work on your art and what you're passionate about. Not a lot of people have that opportunity to be able to do that full time, and I think it's so amazing that you're actually doing it. You know, you're sitting there and focusing on it, and it's manifesting into your life. And I just want to start talking about what is it that you're creating. I just want to find out like what your inspiration was. So what is it that you're working on now?
Let me backtrack just a little bit. Like in the early 2000s, when we're still in LA, we lived in the same apartment, and we used to have parties all the time. Our friends would come over, and I started doodling in these sketchbooks, and it just became a thing. Like at parties, I would draw pictures of people. I would sit there and draw people, or like if something funny happened and there was no camera to capture it, I would draw a picture of the moment, you know, and it became a full-on comic book. Like it would be the coffee table book at all of our parties, and it would just go around the party. People would take turns looking at it, you know, and that's how I started. That's how I started drawing comics. It was just me teasing all of my friends.
And someday you're gonna have to publish that original book, because it's so funny. The content is hilarious.
It's just funny because like people who actually made it in the comic book would be they would be honored, plus sometimes offended at the same time. They'll be all worried. You put me in that comic book? What did you draw? Let me see it. Let me approve it first.
Before you post it on MySpace. Yeah, I just remember when we were in the band, High Tide at the time, a lot of our flyers, or what would make it on MySpace in aftermath of whatever concert we went to or whatever's, you know, would end up being a comic of some sort that you drew. And I just thought it was clever and it was funny, you know, like I look forward to looking at it.
But yeah, that's what kind of started my interest in drawing comics. And then I discovered this personal interest class that they offered at Santa Monica College. And it's not, it wasn't a class for credit. It was just for people who wanted to learn stuff. You know, it was an 8-week program, and it was a comic book drawing class. And this class was designed so that you could prep your work for submission to like an industry or whatever. So I learned a lot from that class, and it was very basic stuff, like just what tools to use and and what kind of pens to buy and how to draw panels. And, you know, it was really
I remember you taking
game
that
changing.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you taking that class. And it's crazy, like ever since you took that class, just watching the way your art has evolved since then.
Yeah.
It's really huge. Like, and even now with the digital era happening, your art just continues to evolve. Even if it's the same characters that you're still working on, the the artwork is just getting better and better. And now you're starting to do more animations, which is really cool. So can you tell us about the character in your book? Who's the main character? Tell us a little bit more.
Um, so the project that I'm working on now is based off of this cartoon character that I came up with years and years ago during, you know, the LA college years. And I was writing a song called Cloud9, and I was doodling in my sketchbook, just like, what kind of high do I have? You know, like I have contact high. I have I have like I don't know, I was just describing all kinds of different highs that I'm on, you know, and then Cloud9 was a high, you know, and then like there's the doodles that I drew was just different characters that looked like Cloud, and that's how he came about. And then it became a thing. Like he just became a character after that. I kept drawing him because
I
he's really
didn't
easy to draw, you know.
I didn't know that that's
Yeah,
how he evolved from
I'll
that
send you.
song. Oh, I didn't know that that's how he evolved. That's so cool. I love that song, by the way. That's like our opening song on our album from Three Little Birds, 3LB. That song definitely gets you on cloud nine. It's very upbeat and puts you in a good mood.
Yeah, well, anyways, that's how his character, and he's always been my character. He has a lot of my personality, but he's a guy. Like I portray him in my cartoons as a male, which is kind of weird. I don't know why, but but then in late 2019, like later in the year, um Carrie Sakuma's husband, Brandon Sakuma, he's our friend that lives in, they're both our friends that live in Oregon. He just recently started taking up backyard beekeeping. And he called me out of the blue. I haven't heard from him in years. And he called me and was like, "Are you still doing art?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You want to do like a project about honeybees, like maybe to educate kids about honeybees?" And then he just started going off talking to me about honeybees and sending me all this information. I was so intrigued, like about honeybees after that. Like, and the more and more I learn about honeybees, I'm like, these this species, it's so alien like, and they're so freakishly intelligent, and I just keep creating stories in my head about what I can turn this into in my comic, because there's so many human parallels, like the way they are. It's funny. It's going to be funny.
Like the way they work together in a community, and
Yeah.
like a little society
Yeah.
almost.
It's a colony, you know, and it's matriarchy. That's what I love about it the most.
That's cool.
And I I've always wanted to create a comic book. That was like my goal ever since I started drawing comics. And I always wanted to turn Cloud into like this cartoon thing. And he was pitching to me like, "Oh, doing a children's book." And I'm like, children's books are so limiting with the content I can use and the language I can use, you know? So I'm just like, if I'm going to do this project, it has to be a project with honeybees. I have to merge it with the Cloud cartoon comic, because I can't do both. It has to be one. This is my one shot because I'm getting old and time's a ticking. You know what I mean? And this work takes a long time. Like it's a lot. And so I merged the two concepts together with Cloud and the honeybee education, the beekeeping education, and I'm going to merge it all together somehow in a very um I guess unique way, hopefully entertaining. And the whole purpose of this comic book is it's not a book. It's going to be a motion comic. I don't know if you guys know what motion comics is. It's not animation. It's different. it's just kind of like uh, a combination between comic books and animation. It's more like less frames per second, I guess. So there's the two elements of comic books, just the pictures, and very, less frames per second kind of animation. But yeah.
But what I find intriguing about this project of yours is that there's music involved.
Yeah. That's like the main drive of this whole comic book. Like, I want to be able to feature artists and music that I like. And there's so many animes out there that do this, like Hello Nana.
Nana.
If
Yep.
anybody doesn't know about Nana, you can watch the English version on YouTube. Like, they took it off of Netflix. I'm really sad about that, but it's kind of like what inspired me to incorporate music into this project.
Yes. Before we go more into your book, I want to talk about Nana just a little bit more. I'm really salty that they took it off of Netflix because it's so much more compelling to watch when they're speaking Japanese and you're just
I never got to
English.
watch.
Oh, it's so much better that way.
I've only watched the English version. I never watched the Japanese version.
I watched the whole thing in Japanese, and it's way more entertaining in my opinion. But you have to be engaged because you have to read or whatever. But the music, Anna Tsuchiya, that's her name, right? The girl who sings those pop, it's like a punk music in Japanese.
So good.
The music was so good. Like, I fell in love with it. And thank you for the shirt, by the way, because it has
Trap Nest, the rival band.
It has him in it. He's
Takumi.
He's my cartoon boyfriend.
My cartoon boyfriend is Yasu, the drummer. He's the drummer.
I don't even what does Takumi play? Bass? In Trap Nest? He plays guitar?
Nah, no,
because
bass.
Yeah, because wasn't this guy the guitar player?
Ren was the guitar player. He played bass in this band. Remember? He was in this band originally, and then he got hired to be on Trap Nest as their guitarist.
I have to watch that show again because I
watched it so many times already. I memorized it already.
Yeah, that's a cool show. But so now let's go back to your project. So you're inspired by Nana to incorporate music into your what did you call it? A motion comic. Motion comic.
Yeah. So let me just kind of walk you through the synopsis. So the series is gonna revolve around Cloud, who's my main character, and he goes into a honey beehive. Like, his best friend's a beekeeper, so he's always around bees. So he goes into this honey beehive and discovers that there's a DJ honeybee in there spinning music, and he's never seen anything like it before. And he finds out that there's this special honeybee genetics that gives these bees like musical talents. And ever since he discovered that, like, he just starts to like observe and learn about the of these honeybees, their songs, and he's just really captivated by their music, and he learns them, and then he goes out into the real world with his best friend, and they try to reproduce these tunes so other people can hear it, because only Cloud can witness this, and so that's his journey. They end up going to like this local live bar, and they scout for artists because like sometimes Cloud's voice isn't adequate for the song, so he's trying to find artists that will sound better with the tune. And yeah, that's kind of the structure of how I want the episodes to go. It's going to give me an opportunity to feature artists, like by creating characters that they're performing live in this bar, they watch the show and they're like, "Oh, I like this character. Let's go backstage and see if we can meet them or whatever,
Yeah.
And then they go into the studio and they replicate. I mean, every episode's not going to have two versions of one song, but there are going to be some episodes with that in mind.
Yeah.
You get to hear the honeybee version, and then you get to hear the real world version,
Cool. I love that it opens the doors to really feature artists. It's just a different entity to get them involved and get, new and upcoming artists, opportunities to really
And
get out there.
and in a different way that hasn't really been done before, at least not in the reggae genre.
Mhm.
And I don't want to only just use reggae music artists. I want to feature all but reggae. I like reggae. It's my soul, the kind of music that I really, really like. So I'm gonna put it in the show. It's my movie,
Yeah.
you know.
And you know what? Like, I hope that you have some original music that's
Oh
gonna be
yeah, for sure.
because your original reggae style music is very it's very original. I haven't heard anything like it, out there, and it's really good. I can't wait for this, project gets more evolved so I
I
can
hope
be
it's good.
involved. I want to be
It's
involved with it.
Oh, you're going to be involved. I already got characters designing for
Oh,
you. What else?
is there any kind of music that you or clips or anything that you can share with the audience? Like,
Yes, I do. And this clip is gonna be it's this clip is taking place in the beehive. Well, let me just you guys should just watch it actually.
okay, and
But
I'll
the music that's featured in this clip is my original vocals, and there's no production behind it yet because it's still in the beginning stages. This is like you guys are witnessing some foundation, real like beginning stages of a song. It's just drums and vocals, but I hope you guys like it.
Drag all your ways for the nectar of water. Waggle, tuggle, hey, drag all your ways for the pollen of water. Waggle, tuggle, hey, holy wields, this is incredible. Hungry. Gotta make that sweet honey.
No one's gonna believe me back home now. Oh, you ain't seen nothing
Gotta
yet.
make that sweet
Here come the
honey.
scat.
Drag all your ways for the nectar of water. Waggle, tuggle, drag all your ways for the pollen of water. Waggle, tuggle, yeah. Don't wanna go hungry. Gotta make that sweet honey. Don't wanna go hungry. Gotta make that sweet honey.
Yeah. But like as far as the honeybee aspect, I have been consulting with this podcast that talks and educates people about beekeeping, and it's called the Hive Jive podcast, and it takes place in Texas. And the guy that runs the show, his name is John Swan, and he's so smart and funny. Like the show is funny, and he's I think he's the vice president of the Texas Beekeeping Association or something. Like he's big time over there. But I seriously, like, if I have questions about bees and I can't find it on Google, I'll DM him on IG, and they usually respond right away. I don't know if it's actually him all the time responding, but I usually get a response really fairly quickly. And he knows about my project because I've been talking to him, and he's really excited. And I'm like scared. Like this is like one of the things that I'm scared about. I don't want to get it wrong. I want the information about the bees and like the stories that I put together with these bees. I want it to be accurate to some degree. I mean, some of it's going to be fiction. Hello, music bees. Yeah. But
yeah,
I
but
want people to,
they do
I
the
want
waggle
people,
dance though.
yeah,
That's
I
real.
want people to learn about bees and how important they are to our planet. And yeah,
No,
and
I
it's going
think
to be,
that's great because a lot of times when people do like cartoons or comics and write stories about creatures or animals that are being humanized, for characters, and story purposes, the actual facts are just kind of, pushed aside. I think it's really cool that you're incorporating their actual real life behaviors and the way that their society works, and paralleling it with humans. I think that's very creative and clever.
And like, it's sad that it hasn't been done before. I'm glad it hasn't been done before because I get to do it first, but it's so much fun to explore their world and to try to put it together, you know, in the perspective of Cloud's eyes. It's going to be really fun. I'm still in the beginning stages of a lot of it, but I just can't wait to see it already. I need to hurry up.
Now, does Cloud, when he visits the hive, does he have the smoke effect on them? Because he's smoke, right? He's a cloud.
Yeah, he's smoke, but he's still in his form. Like, it's not going to be that literal, you know, but
he doesn't make them go to sleep.
But one of bee facts is like when clouds, when the bees get smoked or whatever, it kind of just makes them like confuses them, and that's why they're like in a state of like, I don't know, not shock, but like they start I heard that they start binge eating because they think they have to leave soon or whatever.
Oh,
so they get munchies. They get the munchies,
which is very parallel to
right?
Because Cloud is a certain kind of smoke. That's funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
I'm not getting that wrong, John.
I thought that when bees, you know, when the smoke, the reason why beekeepers use that was because one, you said, like you said, it puts them in a state of shock or confusion. But I thought it made them like tired, like they just kind of get calm and quiet.
That might be a reaction to it. I'm not really sure, but I wish I could like hang out with more beekeepers. I might have to hit up some apiaries around here and see if they will take me on as a lurker.
You should.
A lurker.
I would. And I just remember you as a kid and how afraid you were of bees.
Yes.
Like,
I was so
you're
afraid.
deathly afraid of them.
Now I can just walk right up to them and start taking pictures, you know, like I'm not afraid of bees anymore, not even wasps. Like, it's all how you react. If you start swinging at them, and of course they're going to sting you, you know, they'd rather not sting you. They die if they sting, you know?
Right. That's true. That's true. But yeah, I just remember that, you being so afraid of them. And now like, that's like basing your whole creative work on them. That's pretty cool. Do you have any goals on when you want to be done with this? Like how, do you have any specific time frames of when you want to be finished completely with your project? Like, do you have a plan like to get there in time?
I mean, honestly, I haven't like outlined a plan, like a time frame or anything, but I do hope to have season 1 done within the year. That's a tall order. Because there's so much involved. There's so much involved. Like, look, this is the challenging part, is juggling all the elements that I'm kind of doing by myself, because it's just me, you know. There's the illustrating part, there's the animation part, there's the music part, there's the acting part, and there's the promoting part, and, you know, building the community and letting people know about this project, and to see if you can get, and the funding, like getting funding. Like, people were like, why do you need funding? It's just drawing or whatever, you know. But, you know, producers need to get paid. I need equipment for the type of animation I want to do. Like, so
yeah,
there's
a lot involved. There's a lot involved, but I know you can do it. You just have to stay focused and create a deadline. The deadlines are so crucial if you want to get anything done. And, you know, just keep going. Don't stop until you reach. And every time you reach a certain, make small goals until you reach the big one, you know, and it just helps the project move forward. And
the most challenging part and I'm speaking for all artists, because I know everybody goes through this, is self-doubt. Like, the moment things get really hard, like, I'm like, am I wasting my time, you know? But the more I work on this, the more I want to finish it, because it's so fun and it's entertaining to me alone. You know, if nobody's going to watch this, at least I want to watch it, you know?
You know what though? I think it's a great idea for you to go out there and visit with, the actual site of where beekeepers
yeah.
are, and then join groups of bee communities. I'm sure there's lots of people who are passionate about it. And the more people you're going to meet, you'll be surprised what kind of doors will open for you.
Yeah.
With networking and every artist needs that. But like your success, I mean, a lot of times it's directly associated with your network of people. So that's cool. You should do it immediately. Start.
Yeah, it's summertime. The bees aren't, it's crazy because it's so cold here in Washington, and it's what, mid-May already. And I still haven't seen any bees. Like, it's freezing outside. Well, today it's warm. There's probably bees out now. I think the bees don't come out until it's above 60, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be above at least
like in the
60 degrees.
70s, in the 70s.
That's when you see them out there buzzing around, is when it's warm outside. And, we're still not there yet. Not 100% there.
Yeah, it'll come around, and you just gotta immerse yourself into that community. That's inspiring. Yeah. Have you ever thought about, once you get the season 1 finished and complete, what next? Like, are you going to evolve into something else?
I want to see how long I can keep this series going, because the more I put out, the more chance I'll be able to make more music, meet more musicians and artists, and collaborate with people, and really, like, I'm really hoping that this could be a platform for music, for artists, and just some place where I can showcase, like, not only my stuff, but other people's music too, and to be able to meet people and have a reason to meet these artists. Like, I don't see myself, like, I've always wanted to do I've always had dreams about putting out a solo album or whatever, but at this age, like, I just don't see myself doing that in the traditional way. This is it for me. This is my chance.
I think it's clever though, that, I mean, because nowadays, like, it's so difficult to do something on your own. The more people you get involved, and if you can showcase, not just your music, but a lot of people's music and art too. You could always incorporate other people's artwork in there too.
I do, actually. I have this artist that's helping me do some graffiti lettering, because I'm not really good at graffiti art, but he is really good. I met him on Twitch. I love Twitch. It's such a great space for artists to really find people and learn. And yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, I never even heard of Twitch until you and Isaac, your boyfriend Isaac, has been, on there. And Isaac is a DJ on Twitch, which is really fun to go on there every week and, just experience some good vibes with people. And I just love that it's a community that you can share your talents with each other and people can appreciate it. It's a space where people can appreciate and give love. If you appreciate somebody's art and, their efforts, you can give them money, that's kind of cool, a cool platform to do
and
that.
It pumps the artist up. Like, one bit will be like,
I still have to learn the terminology for that whole platform, but yeah, it's a fun space to be in, and really, really cool platform, and encouraging for artists out there. Artists have such a reputation for being struggling artists. I hate that that's a stigma for artists, because everybody loves and wants art in their life, but it's really hard to gauge, what it's worth. Nobody wants to pay for it. You know what I mean? Like, until you're dead and it's worth millions. I just think that it's a really cool place that you can appreciate other people's art, and you can really build value for yourself that way.
Yeah.
When are you starting your Twitch channel?
Eventually. I'm thinking about it. I just need gear. I need camera. I need the setup, and I haven't put that together yet. I don't have the tools. Well, it's on the agenda for sure.
But yeah, I think that'll be a great way to talk about your project and, get other people involved as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for talking about your passion project on DarkHorse Matters, because this is the kind of stuff that, really drives people. And if you have the freedom to, or everyone has the freedom to do it, most people just don't have the guts, the courage, to really go after what they really love in life. Because we're so conditioned our whole lives that you have these milestones to meet in life. You have to go to school, you have to go to college, you get married, you have kids, there's all these milestones that you have to meet. But when you're so engulfed in your career and kids and marriage, it's so easy to forget what's deep inside here,
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people, even though they have everything, they have the house, they have the career, they have the family, but still, you hear all these stories of people suffering from mental illness, and, it's not enough, it's not enough. And the way your life becomes enough is being passionate about something and acknowledging that passion and really diving into it and, making it your own and sharing it with others. It's so important. I can't even stress that enough. I really appreciate, what you're doing, and it inspires me. We're going to end this episode here with something that we do together. We've been doing together our whole lives. We're going to end with a song. And can you tell us a little bit about the song that you chose?
Okay, this song, I was kind of freaking out because you asked me to play perform a song that I can play piano to. And I'm like, I'm not really the best piano player.
Lies, I tell you.
But I've found this song that I really love that is in the chord range that I know how to play. So I learned it really fast. But it's written by this guy named Likkle Jordee. And I had the pleasure of meeting him a couple years ago at the Major Raja concert in Hawaii. I met him through Ellie Mack, and we performed. We ended up performing one song together on stage, and I've just been really impressed with this guy. During the pandemic, he was just killing it, coming out with songs after song, using his time wisely. I'm like, and he has this skill to just put out these clever lyrics. His lyrics are so good.
And you know what? I only heard this one song from him that you introduced me that we're going to sing, but the incantation, the rhythm of his words it's amazing, just clever, and it sounds good. The beat of his words is very beautiful.
Yeah, he has that skill to really creatively put the rhythm on top the lyrics, and and this guy, just keep listening to his stuff. Oh my God.
I'm going to drop his I'll drop the social media links inside the YouTube video so people can follow you and also the artist that you speak of.
Yeah. So the song is called New Revelations by Likkle Jordee.
And the message of it is so relevant to
exactly
today, relevant to what we're going through, and it's very insightful. So I hope you guys like this song, and hope we do it justice.
I know.
So thank you, Kim. I appreciate you. I love you so much.
I love you too. This is fun.
Thank you, everyone, for visiting with us on DarkHorse Matters. And if you like this episode, please subscribe, share with your friends, and until next week, be passionate.
Through tribulations, we must find a way. New revelations, soon come better day. Through tribulations, we must find a way. New revelations, soon come better day. Well, it is better to be safe than sorry. Mind just step, you better walk lightly. Don't ever bother with no bad company. In due time, you surely gon' see. Remember, everything is not guaranteed. Do what you need, said just to succeed. Between the line, you better read carefully. We never stop till the mission complete. We must find a way. Soon come better days. We must find a way. Soon come better days. Reflection come from any situation. No matter if you fail, you're still a champion. Always remember, say where you come from. Know that Judge, I have a master plan. Every season have a different reason. Could have been good times or bad, you learn your lesson. You give thanks and praise and appreciation before you end up in the sinking sand. Through tribulations, we must find a way. We must find a way. New revelation. Soon come better days. Soon come better days. Through tribulations, we must find a way. We must find a way. New revelations. Soon come better days. Oh, eh, eh, eh. Oh, eh, 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 eh. Oh, eh, eh, eh. Oh, eh, 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 eh. True tribulation, we must find a way. We must find a way. New revelation. Soon come better days. Soon come better days. True tribulations, we must find a way. We must find a way. New revelation, yeah. Soon come better days.
And scene. My name is Peaches, and I'm the best. All the DJs want to feel my breast. I can't do it.
That was pretty good. I'm glad you didn't ask me to do it because I can't do it.
They're so cute.
So
and
how are you
smart.
gonna?
That's why I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet.
Because I'm like
Has to
trying
be
to think of a dance
has to
hall
be,
version of Waggle
like-
Dance.
Oh, I know. It's gonna be like this.
I'm all thinking Tahitian.
It's gonna be like.
Can I put this in the video?
Oh shit! I almost broke the chair.
Can I put that in the video?